Hey guys, it's Dave Gass. And maybe you guys will think I'm a hypocrite because I'm on disability now. But if I didn't have my double lumbar fusion and my double neck fusion and my shoulder surgery, I would still be working 50 hours a week, driving for 100 miles a day. So that was 2 hours a day. I wasn't home a lot. But when I see these videos of young people, early 20s, and they're living with their parents, so they have that safety, and they criticize the American way. Uh, People who work blue collar jobs, people who, like me, I worked as an auto body painter for 35 years. I couldn't have done anything with computers or in an office, so I don't have those skills. Math, typing, spelling, I don't have those skills. But I had the artistic skill. I had to find what I would do. And I paid $9,000 to put myself through trade school. I live in Massachusetts. I went to trade school in Rhode Island. I worked at a market from 11 to 7, 11 at night, 7 in the morning, buffing floors, then left there, drove to Rhode Island, went to trade school from 8 to 2:30, sometimes longer, and I got a 98 average. Started in the trade at $7 an hour after paying $9,000 cash. And my teachers said, yeah, you finished with a 98 and you worked so hard because you paid for it yourself, or you're going to pay for it yourself. All these other kids, their parents paid. I think out of 7 of us, me and another kid graduated. All the other kids just worked on their own cars, didn't come in a lot. And then from there, I made a great career in the auto body industry. And the funny thing was, I think it was 4 years after I graduated, I was working as a paint instructor, salesperson for Akzo Nobel Sikkens, which is a great product. And my teacher from that trade school called the company and said, hey, can you send somebody here to teach me and my students about this product? It was when the trade was going from lacquer and enamel to polyurethane. And I was the guy who got the call. I walk in the classroom. He was my favorite teacher. We became personal friends. And he says, hey, Dave, what are you doing here? You know, would you go to the job? What do they call that? The job guy. Find you a job. I said, no, you taught me. Now I'm here to teach you. I work for Akzo Sikkens. This guy was so proud, so happy. He told the class, I think it was 4 or 5 years ago, this guy was my student, and he's here to teach me now. Then I would go there once a week to the trade school, teach the kids, and I ended up taking my teacher to Pennsylvania from Rhode Island to the company where they had their training facility and taught him. And I think to this day the school moved to a different, it's complicated. They merged with another school, but I think they still use the product today. So I went from growing up on welfare to doing that. My wife went from a single parent home with her mother, go to college, and works in the medical field. So for these young people to say, oh, you know, the American dream is dead and this and that and da da da. I was making, I believe, $10 an hour, and my wife was making 12. And we bought our first brand new house a little over a year after being married for $120,000. So do the math of what people make today and how much that cost. It was in the city. brand new construction, and I hated it. Interest rate was 9.5. It was the first time I had gone under 10% in 30 years. So the mortgage was pretty high. Then, a year and a half later, our mailwoman recommended her neighborhood where her parents, her sister, and her brother lived. It was in the woods, in a different area in the country. It was gorgeous. So then we paid like $143,000 for that house, sold the other house, made a little money, and the interest rate went down to, I think, 6.3 or something. So the mortgage really didn't change to move into this beautiful house. Then from there, 11 years later, we sold that house for more than double after it was paid off and built our dream house. It's in 2 or 3 videos ago. But that's the hustle. That's the hustle. I mean, I went to work so many times with major injuries, shingles, pneumonia. I had a disc touching my spinal cord in my neck, screwed up my right arm. I could barely hold a spray gun. I was painting like this. Then, what ended my career, the vertebrae, I had 2 dead discs for years. The vertebrae in between slid forward 1/3 of an inch, hit my spinal cord, messed up my legs. After that, my doctor said, you can't work in auto body anymore. And they wrote letters for me to get on disability. My doctor wanted me, I went on disability at 58. My doctor, my primary care physician, and my neck surgeon wanted me to go on disability at 42 because my extremities are all messed up nerve-wise because of these injuries. But I would still go to work every day. That back injury, I was working with a belt, pain medication, pain cream, and still painting 5 cars a day. So, do you think this younger generation will do that? If any of these young people, what they want to do is work from home, work on the internet, blah, blah, blah. Go work in auto body, become a plumber, become an electrician, become a carpenter. That's where the money is when you start off, unless you are very smart with computers. That industry seems, I know a couple of people, they are very smart in that industry, and they're struggling now. They job jumped, they got a $10,000 bonus. People, we're not far from Boston, so they would constantly flip companies every year. And eventually it caught up with them. You flip companies, you're not a loyal worker anymore. When things slow down, I have one neighbor, he's still at the same company because he didn't jump around. And I have another neighbor, he constantly jumped around, made all these bonuses. One company, I think they even built a pool for him. Done. He retired early. And then my wife, she went to college while she worked full-time at a bank and got in the medical field. She's been at the same place for 37 years. I was at one place for 21 years, one place for 12 years, and then in between, I had a couple of different things, a couple of different jobs. Try to get a better situation for a couple years. When I have a good one, I stay. So these young people who feel there is no American dream, no American future, don't feel like that. You just gotta hustle. You gotta struggle. I mean, we struggled. We fought. We paid for our own wedding. We paid for our own honeymoon. Our deal was get married with no bills because our Catholic wedding planner wasn't a wedding planner. You had to go to a wedding class, which people should still have to. We met these 2 accountants, husband and wife, and they told us, number one reason why people get divorced? Money. So, try to get married without bills and pay yourself as a bill. Don't just leave the spare money in your pocket. No. Every week, take the same amount, each of you, and put the money in the bank. And if you run out of money on Wednesday, well, guess what? Thursday and Friday, you'll have no money. Are this younger generation ready to do that now? It seems like everybody wants the new iPhone. Everybody wants the to call DoorDash and all that stuff. We've never called DoorDash. She has a free iPhone from her job, and I have a piece of crap free Motorola phone from T-Mobile. Could we afford much better? Oh yeah. But would it change our lives any? No. Probably the thing we care the most about is eating well. Buying good groceries, eating well. Luckily, our custom house is paid off. We paid it off at 54 years old. And that takes a big strain off of us. But young people, if you have grandkids, if you have kids, or if somebody just sees this, don't give up on the American dream. Believe me, in 1986, when me and my wife started, it didn't seem like there was any American dream to us. We were just like, you gotta pay your bills. This video I just saw, the kid's like, you're a fool if you go to work every day. You become a slave and da da da. But he lives with his parents. I never had that option. I helped support my parents. Same with my sister. She worked so hard, and she helped support our parents. It was the opposite. But just a rant from Dave Gass. These videos do so well on YouTube of all these young people claiming America is terrible and the American dream. I just had to go to the gas station to fill up my gas cans for the mower and stuff. And it's owned by people from India. These people, it's a guy and a girl, and then a guy and a girl. Both work 12 hours a day. So, morning shift, night shift. 12 hours a day. Every single day, 7 days a week. The uncle, he's from India. He owns, I think, 7 or 9 of those places. And he brings his family here a little at a time. And these people are wonderful. They really are. And I was just talking to the kid. I just said, hey, what do you think about America? And he said, it's wonderful. You can work. I think maybe some of these kids who think there's no American dream and working is for fools, maybe they need to go to India. Because these people, these Indian people, they respect everybody. They're great to the customers. And believe me, they do great. And then the uncle, the way he has it set up, he lets them live. He owns a bunch of tenements. And I don't know if he charges them rent. I don't think so. But after 7 years, if they're loyal to him, then he helps them finance their own gas station. Maybe Americans should be doing the same. I know in this area, when I was young, that's what the Portuguese did. They came to work in the cotton mills and all that stuff on the waterfront. Our neighborhood, it's very expensive houses. It's probably 85% Portuguese. All this area, all the businesses. And they were working. God, I would see them walk down the hill. They'd have their lunchbox, and they would walk down that hill in double shift every single day. And now they own everything, and their kids are very successful. I don't meet too many Portuguese neighbors' kids who are disrespectful. Believe me, I've seen the parents, the fathers, smack the shit out of a 20-something-year-old if he did something wrong, missed his curfew, didn't cut the lawn. Just my thoughts. Dave Gass out, and believe in the American dream, please.